It's not. It's the one where there is a deck of, like, pre-made character cards, of which there's, like, 100.
Oh, interesting.
At least the version I'm familiar with. So, yeah, here they are largely farmed out into expansions. But let's see, so you gonna like tooltip these or no? So they do have some like very basic stats. Strength, craftiness, life, fate, and gold, which like the board is very well. I'm actually gonna start playing it. You'll see, but it's like a very Monopoly style board with very like D&D random encounter style stuff on it.
Would you mind streaming to me again?
Sure. So I'm not gonna spend too much time with this, but let's see, just poke around some characters. I believe they also have special little abilities on each.
That is a very funny assassin drawing to me.
This is the original, like, early 80s artwork on these two. Like, I distinctly recall that troll.
Oh.
What we got here? Sorceress, and very, like...
It's got a particular 80s fantasy artwork flavor to it
Yeah.
that you kind of don't see anymore.
Sure. So just jumping into it, like, this is basically the game. You've got this... It's a very Monopoly-like board, like I said, where you've got some spaces, you roll some dice, and move around. And the ultimate goal is to get to the, like, big crown in the middle of the board, with various challenges along the way being a thing. So I got some spells here and whatnot to start with. Or was that an option I have instead of rolling the dice? It's been a while. Yeah. Okay, so what I was just saying. So you kind of have to like wander around, get some things, beat some challenges, get to the middle of the board. I played this a lot, the actual like physical version with friends as a kid. I don't think we ever finished a game of it.
Oh, wow.
Which might just be one of those things, like, we were all pretty young at the time, but like... It's sort of like a weird game to just like mess around with and get distracted. Especially with the expansion, there's like add more boards to like really do stuff. Things, okay. But mostly you roll some dice here and I don't actually want to go to the middle board yet. Yeah, because they're scary. But yeah, you can move either direction, and you just kind of wander around, do stuff. There's like encounter cards and whatnot. Yeah, same thing either way, so let's go this way, why not? Yeah, you draw these little adventure cards. Like so. Which are just like kind of random events that happen. So like again, it's like a weird mix of like a D&D type thing and Monopoly, just with like, you know, random stuff happens. You deal with it. Your stats really affect stuff. Yeah, I will take random cash. I do hate how like all card games and board games on computers like really get antsy about confirming everything you do, you know?
Ha.
Oh, okay.
I guess the opposite extreme is something like Carmelo, where you try to click the middle of the screen to give focus, and then your character moves a turn, and you're like, I don't want to do that. Though that's still better than like when I was playing MTG Arena and there was everyone had a blue-black deck and everyone took like a week to finish their turn, and then on your turn they were also playing their turn.
Yep. This is having some like timer for. You want to do anything about this? But it's like. It's annoying to me here because this is not particularly a game where you do a lot of off your turn stuff generally.
I've kind of come around to the idea that just off your turn stuff in general is not good to design a game around if you can help it. Like comparing Magic to Netrunner, Netrunner has basically no off your turn stuff, and I feel like it benefits a lot from not having like instants. I mean, I may have added something like that since I last played, but it felt a lot more stable just having it be like. There was still deception and there was still like turn optimization and stuff like that, but it wasn't like well, they instanted the thing I couldn't have possibly known. Like back to complaining about blue decks, I have had multiple games where you get like you play 4 cards on your turn and all 4 of them get counterspelled, and I'm like, what was I supposed to do?
Okay. Went to town, talked to the random enchantress, and lucked out with getting stronger. Cool. So I'm not going to finish this whole game because, like, again, Talisman, in my experience, takes forever to actually finish because it's just, like, wander around randomly hoping that, like, random events will eventually toughen you up enough that if you roll right, you can get onto the middle section of the board, and then to the third, and then to the actual end game. It's
The
a
end
game,
game's
though.
that big middle square then?
Yes, okay, so, well, since this highlights it, you got the outer track, you've got the river that's kind of hard to get across, because you need to just be in, like, certain spaces, do certain things, to the middle track here. And then there's also the inner track here, and then finally... You stir up the fight. I see the troll is kind of taking the strategy of just let all the smart people do stuff and then we don't pick their stuff.
I'm wondering now if this game or games like it were inspirations for Armello, because I see a lot of similarities.
Oh, almost definitely, yeah. And then you have like the final set of challenges at the end here, which, yeah, it's the whole thing. Yeah, this probably did inspire Armello quite a bit because it's like, it's the original old school weird. You know what? I don't want to just go one space. Let's see what we got here. Draw a card or draw a card. That's most of the spaces, honestly. Okay, so fine.
I can't really think of many games in the genre of competitive, like, tactics board RPG kind of thing.
So, I mean, there were a couple of experiments like this. There was like Dungeon, the official, I think, D&D board game that was like very simplified dungeon crawl thing. This is the more interesting of the two, especially because, like, if you had all these expansions, which my friends did, there were like 100 characters in the deck, and they were like wildly weird with their special abilities and stuff like that, so it was kind of like, if you die, draw another random one out of the deck and keep going, and just deal with your new ability set. It's fine.
I would say the games or board games I had access to growing up were like this. Like, there were a lot of board games for kids I tried, but I was always really disappointed with how shallow they were. Like, I kind of expected 13 Dead End Drive, if you remember that one, to be like this. But it really wasn't. It was just like a bunch of. It was almost more like Mousetrap.
Anyway,
I was expecting Mousetrap to have more depth when I played it too.
But yeah, the expansions too are interesting because, like I said, the expansions like actually add extra boards.
Oh,
like
neat.
the city I was in there before becomes like no, go to the city board, and there's this whole extra area we can like wander around and go to various shops and like taverns and stuff like that and do things. Um, then there's one where it's like instead of the middle of the board taking you to I think so I'm in a house roll, instead of taking you to like just like you win here, it's like you go to the weird extra dimensional realm and there's a whole other like set of challenges there to do, and it's like it's kind of cool. It's very, very luck based and swingy and all that, but
Yeah, board games really have gotten a lot better.
yeah, that's I think enough of a taste honestly, because it's just kind of like unless I want to play the whole game and get to the actual central stuff. Let me actually see. Can I? Yeah. So the other thing is like frustrating is you have to like be in the right places and roll the right thing to even get a chance to get into here. And then it's like this, okay, can you beat a 9 plus a d6 for the power of the like bridge guard? Which can take a bit. But yeah, Talisman, it's a thing. Yes. And it's interesting to see like a nice PC port of it, honestly, because it's like kind of a weird, obscure game. And
It does look neat. I could see getting into the wanting to get good at this.
and there's a lot
Free
of
werewolf this week.
Yep. Interesting. And yeah, the art is something special.
The vampire hunter looks like she's perhaps a vampire herself.
A little bit.
To hunt a vampire, you must think like a vampire.
But anyway, yeah, it's nice that there's a like halfway competent port of this out there. And I apparently have some of this already unlocked. Just because whenever I got this, it was free. But yeah, Talisman is interesting.
I wonder if there's a tabletop simulator version.
Oh, there almost certainly is, yeah. Like, there would have to be. This is like a very... It's like one of the oldest things from Games Workshop, if I recall.
So tabletop simulator is a perfect example of why piracy is good, actually. Because you've got these, like, community-made versions of these games on there, but, like, it gets me to try stuff I just would not sit down and try or even have the chance to in the first place, and then if I like, I'll actually go seek out the real version because it's like a premium version of the shareware game.